So I kind of wanted to uh, go over basic puzzles, what's called tactics in chess. Because if you know these, even if you're not a tournament player, you should be able to beat any average player off the street. So the average tournament player is rated something like 1200, but the average player on the street is rated something like 500. And my guess is you could be as good as the average tournament player just by getting pretty good at tactics. So a lot of grandmasters, and by the way, I'm not a grandmaster, I'm a national master, but a lot of grandmasters they'll do these Twitch streams where they're doing these puzzles really fast. So they'll like say, okay, here's a fast one, check, and boom, boom, and on and on. They'll like here's check this, and I can't. It'd be funny if I can't figure any of them out. Here's win the queen, and win the checkmate. So they do them fast, and then it goes to the next puzzle. But I'm going to break down what are the most important tactics and puzzles to learn, and how you can start to learn them, and how you can start to study them. So I'll instead of doing this fast, the idea of this is called Puzzle Storm on Lichess. The idea of this is to do as many puzzles as possible in roughly 3 minutes, but I'm going to do them slowly and explain bit by bit. So each and the idea of practicing these puzzles is not just for fun, but to get a sense of what different patterns look like. Like you look at this position and you say to yourself, "Oh no, white's about to checkmate. Do I have a checkmate first maybe?" So this might be a checkmate theme. And it is. This queen and a rook are lined up. This is called a battery of the queen and the rook, and it's lined up on the king. So you can take that pawn, check, and checkmate. And then it goes up to the next puzzle. Now, here, the thing to notice is checkmate's hard. The king is pretty well protected. But what you can notice maybe is that the king and the queen here are in what's called fork position. So if a knight moves here, it checks the king and attacks the queen at the same time. The king, you go here, the king has to move, king move from here to here, but now you can take the queen and you're winning. By the way, what does this look like? Now you've already can start to recognize the patterns. This looks like that last game where we had the checkmate. So first take that pawn check. Now rook takes queen. You just gave up a rook, but it's okay because checkmate. This, I don't know yet. What do you think it looks like? I'll give you a moment to figure it out. If you'll notice, the king and the bishop are in fork position. If there was a knight there, these two things would be forked. Do we have a knight to go there? Yes. Check. So the king has to move and then take the bishop, win a bishop. Here's another one where it almost looks like mate. Like, oh, what if the queen could go here? But that's not the theme. The king and the queen look like if a knight goes there, it's check, but you win the queen. So check, win the queen. Okay, here we look at this queen is looking. This is what I call an accident waiting to happen. Sometimes when you're playing chess, you want to put your pieces on so that they're almost like X-raying through the other pieces to see the king. So here, the queen is X-raying through this pawn to see the king. Oh, guess what? That pawn is also attacked by this knight. The knight can take the pawn. So queen check, king over there, checkmate. Here, what do we got? So doesn't quite look like black doesn't have a fork, so because there's no knight, but is there a mate? No, because the king, if he's check, can always get out here. But there's something else. This is a very important chess theme. Oh, I was about to show that one. Let's actually take a look at that one for the heck of it. It's a very important chess theme. Queen check, king has to move, and then you take an unprotected piece. So now let's go back to that puzzle storm. And by the way, all these are taken from actual games. So if you learn to recognize these patterns, if you learn the intuition, like, oh, this feels like a fork. And in fact, it is. This is a weak square, and it checks the king, but also attacks the queen at the same time. So it's a knight fork attacking the king and the queen, and win the queen. Here, this piece is unprotected, and you just have to make sure it's truly unprotected. Like if the bishop can move and check after you take this rook, then it's not as good. But this is just simply winning a rook. Now, before I do that, why did they show just a one move trick of winning a rook? Because sometimes beginners have a hard time seeing the entire board. very often people only see like a small part of the board, and they don't think to look over the whole board. But it's important to look over the whole board. So here's queen takes rook, and you win that. Now, this is an important one because notice white is a rook ahead. Normally that would be a massive winning advantage for white, but here it's black to move and win. And I'm not totally sure of the answer, to be honest. But when a pawn, as you know, when a pawn gets to the end of the board, it turns into a queen. So there's one way to do it, which is to go like this. But if king here, yeah, it looks like that's good enough. This, what if the rook back? Here, yeah, it looks like just this wins. Yeah, he wants to get to a queen faster, but if I just take this rook, this turns into a queen, and we get to the queen faster. So that's often a winning theme, is how fast can you queen. So now this king is in check by this bishop, but if I move, I could take the bishop with the knight, but if I move the knight to take the bishop, maybe he has bishop takes pawn. The important thing to recognize here is that you could take the bishop and the knight takes this bishop. Let's see. So this one's a simple attack. This rook is defended by this rook, but it's attacked by these two pieces. So we could start off with rook takes rook and then queen takes rook. Okay, here, what have we got? Well, this queen's trying to pawn, but we got a bunch of pawns here. Maybe my gut tells me it's this move, but rook here, and then how do we stop this queen from pawning? Well, we can do check, move the king out of the way, move the rook down, and then we can start moving these pawns up. So let's see if that works. Check, and it might be a different move, but you know, we could also do check here, and then the king goes there, and then check here. But I see no point in that. I'm just going to do here, and then, oh, that wasn't the answer, but yeah, trust me, that would have won. So here we have a fork of, we could take, knight takes this, and then we're forking, the king and the queen are in fork position. So knight takes bishop. Oh, let's start over. I'm playing these very slowly just to explain each one. So here's an interesting theme. This is a completely different theme now. So this pawn cannot move forward to the king's blocking it, and maybe the other pieces are. But if white doesn't do something, black is way ahead. He's got a bishop, a knight, and a queen. We just have a rook and a bishop. So the key is, we'll sacrifice this rook. We'll do rook takes, rook over here to check. Now, knight had to take, or else it would have been checkmate. And then we take with the pawn, and we turn into a queen, and that's checkmate. Checkmate. Here, what have we got going? Well, there's potential. Whenever you see a king like this and it's surrounded by its pawns, there's potential for what's called a back rank mate. So if there's no other rook or queen on the back rank and nothing can get in our way, then it's checkmate. So we'll do rook takes rook, and now after I do queen takes rook, that's going to be checkmate. So moves to the next puzzle. Now here, this looks like this is a checkmate. So this is a 2-rank checkmate. So the king, because of this rook, the king can't go to this file here. So all we have to do is check on the back. Now this rook is the only move to block it, but then once I take this, it'll be checkmate. Oh, this is a very important theme, and we haven't gone over this theme yet at all. So this is a discovered attack. So right now, I can move my knight here, and it'll check the king. But guess what? After I move the knight away from this rook, there's a discovered attack on this rook. So the king has to move once it's checked. So the king moves, but now I can take this rook for free, and I'm a rook ahead. So that wins. This is also an interesting mate. It's a different kind of mate than we've seen before. It's a back rank mate, but first, if we just go rook down there, the king will take the rook, so it's not mate. So we have to make the king move over. The king has to move here because it can't move to a square that the rook controls. And now we'll do the mate. Let's see. This one is an interesting mate too. So right now, because this rook controls this file, this queen could move there, check. Whenever you could check the king and it cannot move to these two squares, the queen controls this, and the diagonal. It just doesn't control these two squares. So queen here will be checkmate. So that's a good pattern to remember. And you remember these by doing something like this puzzle storm super fast. So so this is going to be a 2-move or a 3-move checkmate. What's going to happen is the king, it's not a total back rank mate. If we put a rook here and this rook's not here, the king can escape. But fortunately, we have a way to attack the king once it escapes. So rook check, rook takes, rook check, king moves up there, and queen here, mate. So you'll see that pattern quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to let you think about this for a second. It's white to move, and it's a discovered attack. So I'll let you think. So, okay, the answer is we're going to check. Now, we lost the bishop. Pawn took the bishop, but that's okay. Here's our consolation prize. We discovered an attack on the queen. All right, so white to move. So this is going to be a 2-move checkmate. So do you see it? We're going to first, don't forget, the queen and the rook are looking at this square, which would check the king. So check, and now this bishop is unprotected, so we could have taken that bishop and won. This is probably going to ruin my puzzle storm score or whatever, but okay, now we've seen this pattern before where it's a back rank checkmate supported by a pawn on the 7th rank. So, and the pawn is protected. This is where you have to see the whole board. The pawn is protected by this bishop. So this, once I go there, will be checkmate. And this is a theme we have not seen. This is a very, very important one. We saw actually one version of this earlier called a double attack, where we checked, but we also were attacking a piece that was unprotected. Now, this piece that white has is unprotected. And we can also check with the bishop. We can move the bishop here and attack this king and attack this knight at the same time. That's a double attack. So the king moves, and then we get to take that knight for free. Okay, who could tell me what theme this is? This knight check, also attacking the rook. So it's a knight fork, knight takes rook, and that's it. Okay, this actually was the exact problem we saw before, I believe. So there's 2 ways. There's only one way to win this. I thought for a second there was 2 ways. If this queen was somewhere else, there would be 2 ways. But again, we're going to give up a queen for the rook, but that's because we know we have a back rank mate and nothing was able to get in the way. Okay, this is a discovered attack theme. Anyone see it? It's black to move and win the queen in 2 moves. So I'll do it. So first we're going to check. When you check, of course, the king has to move because the king, that's the game. So, or the king has to be protected some way. But then when we move that bishop there, it unlocked the queen looking at the queen. So we take a free queen. Okay, this is black to checkmate in 1 move. This move here was a weak move. That was the losing move that white just did. So notice the bishop is attacking this pawn and the queen is attacking the pawn, and only the king is protecting it. So checkmate. My guess is this is going to be a fork. Oh no, this is not a fork. This is what's called an X-ray attack. So if I check the king, if I move the rook up, I'm checking the king, but the king has to move, and then through the king, we X-ray through the king, and we win that unprotected rook. So whenever you're playing a game of chess, always look for all the pieces, yours and your opponent's, that are unprotected, because they could be secretly under attack, like in one of these X-ray attacks. Here we have, notice this is again using full board vision. We have to see the full board here, and it's very important to practice full board vision. This rook is attacked by, so this rook and this queen are attacking this rook, and it's attacked by 2 pieces. It's only defended by 1 piece. So rook takes rook, queen takes. Okay, this is another good checkmate theme. Whenever there's a pawn here, and we can make use of it. We could do check, king has to move, and now do you see the checkmate is here? And the whole reason I'm showing these is if you get used to solving these quickly, you'll start to recognize the patterns on the board quickly. Nobody will be when you're actually playing a real life game, no one says black to move and win, white to move and win. You have to say, oh, this looks like a fork. Notice king and queen are in a fork position, and it just so happens we have a knight to do the forking. So boom, win the queen. And here's another one. King, queen, fork position right there. So check, has to move the king, win the queen. This one looks a little more complicated, but with kings in the center of the board and it's run out of squares, these pawns control too many squares, and these pieces, these white pieces, block the king from retreating. So check, mate. King and rook are in the fork position. Boom. There was even more tactics there, but that was good enough. Okay, we have that double rank. First, we sacrifice the queen. It looks like we're just giving up the... Notice this bishop is protecting the rook. It looks like we're just giving up the queen for nothing. But checkmate. And here again, we have these pawns. So what's the secret moves here? Looks like if you do this, you can't stop the queen. He's trying to stop it, but queen. And that's the puzzle. I'd like to be able to push that, but how about we do an X-ray attack first? Notice we could check the king and then take the unprotected rook. Always make sure your pieces are protected. There was a world champion in the 1960s, Tigran Petrosian, from, I believe he was from Armenia, Tigran Petrosian. And he was world champion, I think, from 1966 to 1969. I may have that wrong. And then Boris Spassky beat him, and then Bobby Fischer beat Boris Spassky. But Tigran Petrosian was known for being the master at defense. And he always made sure all his pieces were protected all the time. And so he would draw a lot, but he tried to never lose. So now this is a weird kind of back rank mate because it's not a back rank, it's a file, and this rook is blocking the king's escape. But this is checkmate. The queen could get in the way, and then once we take the queen, it'll be checkmate. Okay, you guys think about this for a few seconds, and I won't even tell you the theme, but by now you're starting to build the intuition for recognizing these themes. So it's knight will check the king and attack the queen at the same time. See that? Knight will go there, and there's a check, and there's also attacking the queen at the same time. So it's a knight fork. Knights are very tricky. So knights are sometimes good in blitz chess because they're tricky. Now this is a double attack. We're going to check, and we're going to attack an unprotected piece. Check, and this piece is unprotected. And notice if we have a queen, knight, and rook, that's better than a queen and a rook. So we'll take that. And this almost looks like a fork, but I don't quite see it. So maybe it's something else, or maybe I just don't see it at all. Oh, okay. It's a discovered attack. So does anyone see it? I'll give it a few seconds. Notice this rook is staring at that rook, but the knight's in the way, and this rook's unprotected. Well, so you ask yourself, I'd like to win that rook with this rook, but can I check first to distract white, and he can't protect his rook? So check, yes, I can, and then win the free rook. Always free rooks are good in a chess world. Chess is not quite communist. You have to earn everything that you get, but some things are free. Oh, that was a good puzzle at the end that we hadn't seen. So hopefully they'll show us that. Okay, I'll play a little faster. King, forks, and the rook. What do we got here? I don't know. Oh, it looks like we just win a piece, right? So this piece is defended by one piece. So the bishop is defended by the queen, but it's attacked by two. So when you have two pieces attacking something that's defended by only one, you could just take it and win. Fork, anyone see it? Boom, boom. Okay, we'll start to move a little faster. We're gonna check and then turn this into a queen and mate. So you always want to look at pawn. It's called pawn advancing tricks. Now this is an interesting one. It's a check, king escape, and then a double attack. So check, king escaped here, and now notice the bishop and the king are on the same diagonal. So we could just move the bishop and win the rook. Pawn in the 7th rank always gives rise to tactics. So, and don't forget also, this queen, once this rook is moved, oh, thank you for ever following me. Bakachi, thanks for following me. Bakahachi, rather. Is that a Japanese word? I can't see any chat, by the way, Jay. But, so let me know if there's any chat happening. But,
there's a lot of chat happening.
I wonder why I can't see the chat.
You just have to pull up. So if you're in OBS, on the right hand side, you should see a small arrow, and then click on that. You should see all the chat.
Why is everything so complicated? I went to graduate school in computer science, and I can't even figure out how to open up a chat window.
See, what's better, an Asian or a graduate school student?
Yeah, I should have paid $60,000 for an Asian rather than going to grad school.
Do you see chat now?
Oh yeah, now I see the chat. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, everyone is here. Jaxifer is here. The Ice is here. It's just that because you are giving lessons, so I'm not. I don't want to block your flow. Everyone is
Uh,
enjoying the yeah.
so Ice, it's probably a different. There's actually two Tigran Petrosians. So the Tigran Petrosian that was world champion is unfortunately passed away. So now remember when the king, if I want to do a back rank mate, okay, and rook takes rook, pawn takes, turns into a queen, check, king can escape. Right now the king can escape, but once I move the rook, the queen x-rays to prevent the escape. So check, and then once I turn into a queen, it'll be mate because the king can no longer escape because the queen's on it. And I'll turn into, I could turn into a rook if I want also. Okay, here it almost feels like of some kind of fork is happening, but it's not really. If I do knight takes knight, knight takes knight. Now, so I look also, can I take the knight and distract things? No. So all this is just a very simple, two moves are attacking, one move is protecting. So knight takes knight, queen takes. Oh, and here we have a familiar back rank mate. I'll just show you for the heck of it. Queen takes, queen check, rook takes, rook mate. So let's go back to Puzzle Storm. Okay, so I noticed with the check that the king can escape. Is there anything I could do about it? I don't know, but I see another tactic. Well, no, I don't even see another tactic. So this is interesting now. This is the first time I do not see the tactic. Originally, I was looking at this, forking the rook and the queen, but that would be a disaster because queen takes queen. So now I'm still looking at this, check, and king up here. Oh, okay. Is this really the position? Is this really the move? All right, this is a checkmate. We're playing with the idea that the king. So it's very important. This is a very important idea in chess, is that material is equal. Black has a queen, a rook, and a knight. And white has a queen, a rook, and a knight. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns, and white has 6 pawns. So material is almost equal. But one thing we should know, in this area of the board, right, this square, Black can very quickly get his queen and rook into the attack. And so it's almost like in the area around the king, Black is ahead almost an entire queen. So I'll check this out. I think this is the right one. So check. Okay, the rook's getting in the way because if the king were to escape, the queen would go here, king pawn up, and then the rook would come down, check, and then it would be checkmate. But instead, we're going to do it this way, and that's over. So the computer knows what's happening down the road, so it tries to block, but it couldn't. And now here, if I'm not mistaken, this is just rook takes queen. You have to, so it's good to just be helpful to recognize when pieces are being attacked. So rook could take the queen, and queen could take the bishop. Okay, here's a fork, but it's tricky. If we do knight check, forking the rook and the queen, maybe rook takes rook. So we have to decide, do we like that? Because if knight check here, if knight, it's not a check. If knight forks here, the white doesn't have to move the queen. He moves the rook, and he's attacking black's queen. But because we're giving up a knight, and he would have been giving up a rook, rooks are more valuable than knights, so allows me to do this. Okay, this is a 2-move mate. Can you see it? This is like when we have the queen and the rook all attacking one little pawn. So check, and then mate. Okay, this is a tricky one. Not a tricky one, but this is what black to mate and move, but it's a mate we haven't seen before. I'll give you a second to think about it. It's mate in one move, and it's right here. This knight is attacking that square, and the queen could just move into it. It looks like this is a very easy mate. Some of these are very easy. Check, and then mate, back rank mate. But we just practice doing them over and over again to get used to it. So whose move is it here? Okay, so it's black's move. Now notice there's an unprotected piece. This rook is unprotected. And I can check at the same time while attacking the unprotected rook. So check, rook blocks, but that's okay. I'll take this rook and win the game. Mate in 2, this is a different type of check. If you have this square and this square are very weak squares. If you have a queen attacking this square and you can get a knight here and nothing's defending that square, then check, mate. The king couldn't escape. So now what have we got here? Ideally, if we could move the rook there, that's checkmate, but this bishop's in the way. Is there any way to get that bishop out of the way, or is there any other thing going on here? Well, turns out we can get the bishop out of the way. We could just take it. Now, it's not letting us do it, but if pawn had taken the rook, queen would have taken. You know, it's messing up the mate a little bit, but it almost will win a queen instead. But there was enough things on that bishop that we would have checked the king. It would have gone here, and then we would have done the back rank mate. But instead, we'll win the queen. All right. Looks like we've got this. The white is checking the king, but black is also attacking this pawn. So when we do this, we're attacking both the. Oh, we're attacking both. Let's see if we can do it. We're attacking both the rook and the pawn. So that does it. Let's go back to Puzzle Storm. Okay, I'll try to move. I'll start moving a little faster. Do you see it? Start to see the checkmates when you can. Check. Now, this is not a checkmate, but look what happens. Okay, this is several themes. It's a check, and then we have an unprotected piece. So the unprotected piece has to prevent itself from being taken. But then, if it had taken, we would have taken with the pawn, and then we would have queened the pawn. Instead, the computer is letting us just take it. So now, here's also the knight is control of it. This is a little trickier one. Tactics about pawns queening is very important in chess. If you could queen a pawn, you're going to win the game. So the black rook is attacking the white knight, but the white is just going to ignore that because after I push this pawn, if the rook takes the knight, I'll push the pawn and queen. If the rook doesn't take the knight, let's say the rook moves here, I'll push the pawn, and then it turns into a queen. Then the rook would have to take the pawn, and then the knight would take the rook, and white's ahead in material and is winning the game. So move the pawn and queen. Okay, here we have a direct checkmate. We have an interesting back rank mate. We haven't seen this theme. Now, it's not quite a back rank mate because the king can escape, but this bishop is controlling these squares. These are said to be weak dark squares that our dark square bishop is controlling. So this is another pattern to get used to. Takes and checkmate. Again, weak dark square, checkmate. Again, pawn in the 7th rank tactic. And once we move the rook here, the rook cannot take the pawn because it's pinned against the king. This is called a pin. So we're making use of, there's several techniques that we're using. Back rank checks, pawn in the 7th rank, and the pin of the rook against the king. So once I go here, he blocks the potential mate. We do this, and it's over. We win a rook. Okay, what have we got here? I don't know, actually. This looks fairly complicated, but okay. This is a very common theme in chess. This piece, where are all the pieces that are unprotected? White has no pieces that are unprotected, not counting this, which is hidden away. But black has this piece in the middle of the board unprotected. Is there any way we can attack that piece and check at the same time and do a double attack? Maybe this is the most important theme in chess puzzles. If all you could do is this, you're going to basically beat all your friends in chess. So we're going to check. We're going to move the queen here, checking the king. The king has to move, and then we'll take the bishop. So check, queen blocks, but we'll still leaves this bishop unprotected. We'll take. Okay, this is called a deflection tactic. Very important. We haven't had this theme before. So this rook is attacking the queen. This queen, I would love to be able to just take this rook, but the queen is protecting the rook. If I did queen takes rook, queen takes queen, I'm losing. But can we deflect the queen? Is there something more important than my queen that we could deflect the black queen away from? Well, yeah, if we check, let's go to that last one. If we check the queen, it's mate unless the queen takes the rook. So watch what happens. Rook takes queen, queen takes rook, and now this is unprotected. We take. So let's go back to Puzzle Storm. All right, again, remember this theme with the bishop controlling the squares, the black king can't escape. So checkmate. What have we got here? We've got one piece defending this square, two pieces attacking it, and there's a back rank checkmate. Notice a lot of these themes have to do with back rank checkmates. That's the most commonplace. You know how there's a saying, something like 80% of drivers' accidents happen within 2 miles of your home. Well, the king's home is right here where it castles. So most of the checkmates happen near the king's home. So check. Oh, and he blocks with his queen because he doesn't want to get checkmated, but it's okay with me. I'm going to just win a queen. Rook takes queen, and white's winning the game. So, okay, what do we got here? Anybody see an answer? I actually don't see the answer. Oh, now I do. What pieces are unprotected? This rook is unprotected. Guess what? I can check the king by moving my queen there. So queen check, king moves, and now I just take the free rook. Always take free. What do we see? Is that a specific type of position, particularly when the knight's here? Knight fork. So boom, boom. Okay, this is an interesting kind of checkmate. Does anyone see? It's mate in 3 moves. So it's sort of like one of those double rank mates with one extra frill put in, because you're always looking, when you're looking for checkmates on the back ranks here, you're always looking to see if the king can escape. But here, there is an escape route, but it's guarded by this pawn. So we could do check, check. Oh, did the king escape? Nope. Checkmate. And this is just a straightforward. You should be able to see these pretty easily now. It's just a straightforward checkmate. Check, check, checkmate. Oh, very interesting. So I would love to be able to take that queen, but knight can take the queen back, and then nobody's winning or losing. But there's one thing that's more important than the queen, which we saw before. The king is more important than the queen. The bishop could take the knight, which is the defender of the queen. This is called the remove the defender tactic. So the bishop could take the knight, and black has to respond because his king's in check. So check, and now the queen is unprotected. Okay, what do we got here? Looks like I could just take this piece. It's not a big deal, right? And then I don't know why he moved there. But now I can do... Oh, he prevented check, and then check. So let's see, what have we got here? I don't know. I don't know what we have here. By the way, this is good enough for winning. Queen and a knight is worth 12 pawns. 2 rooks are worth 10 pawns. So already this is winning. But I just, I don't quite see. There's probably some easy mate, but I don't quite see it. So, I don't know. Check. Oh, that was good enough. All right. Now I keep saying I'm gonna go a little faster. Now I'll go super fast one time. You see, once incorporating all the techniques into your intuition, you can start to move very fast. Discovered attack. Discovered attack on the queen. Fork. Fork. Remove a defender. Where am I moving? What is happening here? Whose move is it? I don't even know who moves it is. Okay, black just moved. White's moving this way. Oh, just take. No. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, it was just that. Sometimes it's real too easy. Okay, fork. Oh. So many pieces on the board here. Look at how many pieces. Feels like a remove the defender situation, or feels like check, mate. Fork. Check, mate. Check. Nope, that wasn't it. That was my first wrong one. Unprotected rook over there, and mate otherwise. Fork. Look at this. We have, what have we got going on here? I don't know what we have going on here. I feel like there should be something with this knight, or this knight here, but I don't know why I did it. Fork. Looks like check. Nope. Oh, I'm in check. So first, let's fork those two pieces, and then let's take this knight. Oh, this is an interesting one. So we have to clear. I'm not going to do this as fast as I thought because I want to show you this one. This is a really fascinating one. Black is ahead a bishop. So he's got a bishop, a pawn, and 3 pawns. White's just got 3 pawns. So technically, black has a winning advantage. But because this black bishop is blocked by its own pawn, it can't get around to stop my pawns. What do you mean, stop your pawns? These pawns are blocked. If this goes here, take. If this goes here, take. But this can't. This is called. This tactic is called the over defender. This guy is over defending. He's over defending these 2 squares. So first we're gonna go. Let's just make sure for a second. Yeah. First we're gonna go like this one, and then this cannot be stopped. So that pawn will queen. Checkmate. We got a sort of a, what kind of back rank? We have a discovered attack. So check this out. Check, check. Oh, it didn't show the discovered attack, but it was there. I'm gonna fork. This is an odd fork. I was gonna fork those 2 rooks with my king, which is an odd kind of fork. Okay. So fork. Checkmate. 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 This is using the whole board vision. Win a piece. Check. Mate. What do we got here? We're going to try to win some pawns. And now he can't stop those pawns from queening. We're going to win that knight. Look at that. Unprotected. X-ray attack. Win the bishop because X-ray. Oh, no, double attack. Pawn a queen. And we win a queen. So what do we got here? Remove a defender and win a knight. Fork. Let's queen a pawn or win a rook, whichever one you want to do. Checkmate. It's that same checkmate. That checkmate is more themes than anything else. How about we just check and then we win the rook? I was over there. Check and attack the piece. Let's see. So he's queen's under attack. My queen's under attack. I can check and then win the queen. This knight can't get back in time to prevent the pawn from queening and checkmating at the same time. Check, fork, and then take the queen. Look, check, and then win the piece. Unprotected piece. I wanted to fork here, but tough to say if this is happening. No, I don't know I don't know the answer to this one. Sometimes I do not know the answer. Oh, but this sort of looks like checkmate, right? Check, check, mate. That's the answer. Check, mate. And check. Oh, didn't like that. Check, mate. Same theme we always see. What have we got here? We got 3 things attacking this pawn, but also 3 things protecting it. So that's not the answer. So I don't know the answer here. Oh, just this piece was just hanging. Check, and we X-ray the queen. Check, and we X-ray the rook. Looks like this is an important theme. That's why I'm still not going so fast because I want to show you these themes. So when the king and the queen are on the same diagonal, if we could put the bishop there and nothing can get in the way, the queen can't move because it's pinned against the king. So this is a way for a bishop to win a queen. So the queen has to take the bishop, and that's that. Looks like this is going to be checkmate at some point, right? Check. Oh, no, we can't. My queen is pinned. So what can we do with my queen pinned? Well, we have check, check, and then there was mate in there. Discovered. It's a fork and discovered attack. So check, and then we take the unprotected queen with the queen. And again, doing these over and over, and you'll get, like, notice this pawn is pinned against the queen. If the pawn moves, rook takes the queen. So how do we get the pawn to move? Well, we'll take this bishop. If we do rook takes bishop, pawn takes rook takes queen, and black is winning the game. And so let's distract. This king is defending this rook. Oh, Oh, new daily high score. All right, but I'm going slow though. So, okay. Now, just one last time, I'll show you what it's like when it's going fast. So we're going to focus on queening a pawn. So we'll queen this pawn, and that's that. I don't know if even this is the right move, but looks like checkmate. And we'll win this knight. And what have we got here? Looks like we could just take a piece, right? Yep. And almost a fork, but not quite. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I wish that was a queen, and then I would know the answer. Is there a checkmate of some sort? I don't see it. Don't see this one. Well, we have a whole extra. We have a whole extra rook here, but we can't do anything with it immediately. I don't know. Is this it? Nope. All right. We're gonna win an unprotected rook. Boom. And here looks like some kind of checkmate maybe. Check. Oh yeah, because we're protected by the bishop. Checkmate. And first we'll get rid of the rook, and then we'll get rid of the bishop. Just removing the defender. More. That was as simple as checkmate. Or fork the king and the queen with the rook. And this is an interesting one. We'll sack this rook, but then checkmate. And you're going to use the pawns to checkmate. It's always pretty when you can use the weakest piece to checkmate the most important piece. And check. This is the same theme we've always seen. By now, that should be in your intuition. And well, too many things are protecting this pawn, so it's not quite that. So let's take this unprotected piece after we check. And looks like a pin of the queen against the king. And it looks like, feels like we want to do some kind of checkmate. So we'll get rid of the defender, and then we'll checkmate with the other rook. And it looks like a discovered attack here somehow. Knight takes pawn, attacking this. So this is interesting. Knight takes pawn, attacking this rook, but I'm also threatening knight takes knight here, forking the king and the queen. So knight takes pawn, and queen takes rook. Looks what we have, a free queen. And check, mate. Let's remove the defender, and then we could fork the king and the rook. Check and win the piece. And
Ronico asked, "Do you and Malcolm Gladwell hang out? Did you
No.
guys hang out all the time?"
I've never even met Malcolm Gladwell. I don't think he likes me for some reason. I shouldn't say that. I always think people I haven't met don't like me, and that's not true. Takahashi, your dad was in Japan in the early 60s, and so do you have an affinity for Japan now? Like, do you play the game Go? All right, I'm gonna do one more time, but this time I'm gonna try to. My high score is 47, and I'll try to beat my high score. So I've started 47 puzzles in 3 minutes, and let's see if I can do the same now. Fortunately, on the very first puzzle, they give you an infinite amount of time, so that probably is it. And looks like checkmate. And wait, I don't see it. Oh, check discovered. Check mate. And checkmate. And fork. And check and unprotected piece. Check and mate. Looks like just an unprotected piece. That's all. Looks like check, and he has to sacrifice his queen to prevent mate. Okay, remove the defender and take the piece. How about we check and mate, and check and mate, and check and mate, and discovered attack on the queen. And check and mate. Fork with the pawn. And let's go. Let's attack this queen. And I was going to take that pawn next, but he did the work for me. And looks like a discovered attack situation. Am I right? I don't know. But I was right. Checkmate. And checkmate. Or he had to put his rook in front. Let's see. Looks like we have an unprotected piece here. Thank you very much for free pieces. Free pieces are always good. Look like an unprotected piece again. And looks like a checkmate. Bishop goes in the way and checkmate. And, remove the defender and take the queen. Remember, all these themes have names because that's how you remember them. And what do we got here? We have take that, discovered attack, win the rook. Does this work? Is this happening? Is this magic? No? I don't like that. What's going on? Sometimes I can't get them. What am I not thinking? Check, mate. And what do we got here? Check. I don't know. Check, mate. Move the defender. And take this and then take that with the defender. This is pretty powerful right here. We're going to win this rook. So we'll take that with the pawn. Remove the defender and then queen. And discovered check. We haven't seen that theme yet, but now we remove the defender. Oh, this looks like an odd checkmate. Look at that. King has no squares. Checkmate. All right. 31, not quite 47, just because I was talking a little bit. But now you can start to see, I was 97% accurate. You could see 3 seconds per move. I'd like to be a little faster than 3 seconds per move. I'd like to be about 98% accurate. And you could see which puzzles you have trouble with. And then the great thing about this site, there's also a puzzle dashboard. So I could see the type of puzzles I do well. I could even go over my failed puzzles and the puzzles I did slower on. So we'll do one more time. Check. Okay, we'll take that. And the idea there was we were going to win some queens. Check. Get the queen in. Work the king and the rook. Okay, no talking. Check. Queen. And just take a piece, right? Fork. Discovered attack. Look at all these pieces around. I think I could just take a piece. No sweating it. Don't sweat too much if you don't have to. Check. Unprotected piece. Mate. Win a rook. Let's see. First, let's get rid of one of the defenders. Then let's checkmate. And we could check this way. And it doesn't look. Can we do it? Yeah. We'll just win 2 rooks. And okay. Check. That didn't work. Didn't like that. We'll see what my accuracy is at the end. I already got at least 1 wrong. All right, we'll attack the queen, and we'll take the queen and win a knight. Does this look like checkmate? I think it does. And this doesn't look like checkmate, but this looks like I win at least a rook. Remove a defender, check, and then mate. Discovered attack on the queen. Let's see. First we take this, and then the pawn's pinned against the rook. Check. What's white doing? Is White's having some fun with me. But I'm attacking his queen. Take and then fork. And get in the way. It's protected by the bishop. Take the queen. Remove forking the rook and the knight. This is just a simple win a queen thing here, right? Let's go this way. Win a rook. And looks like some fork action, but I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, looks like we take this and then pin the rook and win the rook. I don't know. This and then this. First take the bishop, then take the knight. Oh, check this out. This is a fun one. Queen takes pawn, sacrifice the queen, and then that is checkmate. Check, check. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, queen takes bishop, moving the queen into place, and that would have been a fork. And because I'm having fun, I'll play one more time. My accuracy improves slightly, my speed improves slightly, so my score improves slightly. So I went from 96.9% accuracy and 3 seconds per move to a little bit less. The last question I see is, do me and Malcolm Gladwell hang out? The answer is no, but I do hang out with Stephen Dubner from Freakonomics, and just practicing. Now I'm going to really try to get my record, but I don't know. Jay says I need a faster mouse.
It's faster than mouse, yeah, movement.
But
I think James is just doing puzzle right now.
Oh, what?
Did I say someone sent you a challenge?
Yeah, I'm just practicing puzzles
Yeah.
because that's how I get better at games. Sometimes you can play games and get better, and usually, but you also want to make sure it's important to study every micro skill in the game. So, checkmate. It's a weird kind of checkmate. It's important to study all the micro skills, and tactics are a very important micro skill. If I just play and I never study, then I'll stay the same, but I won't get better.
Downham say, yeah, your mouse is definitely half the speed of your brain.
Yes, it's true. I shouldn't talk. Is that what he meant? I can't.
No,
even think right.
he meant like your mouse should be faster.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you said my mouth. That also
No, mouse.
my mouth is probably smarter than or no, it might. I don't know. I can't even think. I can't figure this one out. It just looks like this, but no, that's not it. Check piece. Remove a defender. See, I think my mouse. I gotta improve mouse speeds. Can we queen? Can we queen here? Win the rook. Oh, bishop, queen, pin the queen. Unprotected piece. I think we go pawn, queen. Oh no. What is going on here? Oh, checkmate. And we'll do this. Get rid. Okay, it didn't let me show the whole mate. It was a pretty mate. Get rid of the defender. Oh no, attack the defender. What's somebody saying?
Yes, Dunham say like the mouse to the best part about you is that you ask questions you don't regret until 10 seconds later. Cuts through the facts like no artist. I mean, like sometimes, like James is great at asking questions. Like
Yes.
I'm just better at asking questions.
Because you know why I'm great at asking questions is because I don't really know a lot of things. Oh, my accuracy was really low there. So here's all the puzzles I solved to that one, and I got three or four puzzles wrong. The last one's not wrong. They just have it. I don't know why they always mark it wrong.
Sometimes you just have to practice your mouse movement, you know?
I know. I feel like these young kids are like slamming it. All right, you know what? What do I press, Jay? I press a button where you know what? I'm not gonna play with the mouse right now.
No, yeah. I think you need to install something that you probably didn't install when you first got a computer, and then I can run you through that, and then you can customize your mouse to have like shiny lights and crazy mouse movement.
Oh, shiny lights. That's what I
Oh
want.
yeah.
I want shiny lights. Okay, try one more of these. Fork. Check and mate. Oh, no, not check and mate, but discover attack. And check and mate. And fork. And check mate. And what do I got here? What do I got here? Oh, win a piece. Checkmate.
Yeah, I think Lichess is mobile. I think they have a
Yeah.
They
Lichess is
recently just have a Lichess mobile app. I think
Yeah.
some people actually develop a desktop app for Lichess.
Well, my chess server, internet chess server.
No. For Lichess, like someone made a app like desktop app, so you wouldn't have like all you didn't have to open up your browser to play it.
I see.
Yeah.
Check. Boom. And
Because sometimes when you play chess, you don't want to get distracted. You don't want to see all the emails coming in, all the emails that remind you of work and stuff.
yeah, basically when you play chess, it's your avoidance of work is the problem. It's a serious problem that I suffer from. All right. Don't make moves too quick. Well, you have to make moves quick though. I don't know what to do. Oh, checkmate. That's what to do. Look at this. This is a good one. Deflect and then win a queen. And I don't know. I don't know this one either. Oh, check.
It's funny that you complained about a mouse. I'm actually using trackball.
You're using a trackball?
Yeah,
Trackball wouldn't be good for this though, right?
definitely not. But for my daily work, day-to-day work and browsing, I use trackball. It's so much better for my hand, so my hand wouldn't get tired.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm playing chess all day, man, the hand it gets tired.
Because you have a slow mouse movement, so you have to move a lot for your mouse to go that far.
Is that really what's happening?
It could be.
Yeah.
Depends on your mouse movement speed. I have my mouse set at 1600, I think. Oh no, actually 2000. Let me see. Winning games is all about those technical terms and those equipment.
I know. It's all about the equipment. Look at this.
Yeah.
31. 95% accuracy. Move speed was okay, but the accuracy was low.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, let's just go over one more slow and see the common themes. We're going to do slow. So I'm going to play again. What theme is this? I'm going to give you a few seconds each one. Notice this guy's about to queen, but if we stop him from queening, we have one more pawn, then wait, so we should win. So the correct move is stop that pawn from queening or rooking. Now notice this pawn is pinned against this rook. So if the pawn moves, you win a free rook. So how we get the pawn to move? Take the queen, rook. Okay, here we've got queen are looking at each other, but we also have a check. So how about we do this check? And does it mean anything? Is life meaningless? What do we have here? Oh no, even better. It's a fork square. Forking the king and the queen. Okay, we have a fork here. Anybody see it? Yeah, I'll give you a few seconds. King and rook are in fork position. We also could do rook takes check, but I don't like that as much because rook check, king over, rook takes bishop, rook takes this bishop, not as good. So we'll take the bishop and fork, king and the rook. And queen and king in fork position. Guys should be getting used to the forks now. Now here's where it's a mate, but it's the escape square. Remember the escape square? We stop it. Fork. You see it? This. Oh, we're gonna give up a bishop for a rook, which is always a good deal. That's a good trade in capitalism. And we have a discovered attack on the queen. Win a queen. And what have we got here? Oh, checkmate. Fork, rook. This is, okay. I was looking at the wrong color. I was colorblind. Attack the queen and the knight at the same time. Win a knight. And this looks scary, but we have this first. Checkmate. And checkmate. And checkmate. And checkmate. Fork of the queen. And I don't know, isn't this just winning a knight? And I want to do that. Is that not a move? This is nice. The pawn is pinned, so it can't take the rook. And now we just take the queen. Check, and the knight's unprotected. Check, win the knight. And nice checkmate here. Checkmate. Okay, we obviously have been through this theme a million times. Back rank big. Pawn's pinned against the queen. Queen takes rook. Rook takes queen. Anybody can see this one? I can't see it right away. So let's see. I mean, obviously we could take this bishop, and maybe that's good enough to win. I think it is. I think that's good enough to win. Nope, it wasn't good enough to win. But in this case, we have discovered check. Notice the queen. If you just move this knight, the queen is checking. So wherever this gives us a free move with the knight. We can put it anywhere we want, even an unsafe square like this, because the king has to respond, and then we win a piece. Oh, but does that win a piece? No. Better yet, checkmate. All right. That was a slower one. All right, so that's basically, if you just study tactics, if you're an absolute beginner, notice none of these moves were difficult. They were all 1, 2, 3 move tactics, and the same themes repeated themselves over and over again. Back rank checkmate, discovered check, discovered attack, fork, double attack, pin, X-ray attack. They remove the defender. All these had themes, and if you do lots of these puzzles and get used to the themes, you'll be able to do them very fast, and more importantly, you'll be able to do them in an actual game. When a lot of people make blunders and mistakes in games, you're never going to get rid of the blunders. I even saw Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, make a 1-move blunder in blitz chess. He blundered mate in 1. So you can't avoid blunders completely, even if you're the world champion. But you can get better and better at spotting your opponent's blunders, and you can make fewer blunders if you study these puzzles and tactics. Then there are slower puzzles, but don't worry about those so fast. If you just want to beat all your friends, none of whom are tournament players, this is the way to do it. So thanks very much for watching this video. Anybody who asked any questions, Jay's keeping track of them, and I will answer them on a podcast or wherever. So thanks so much, everybody, and see you soon. Video will also be on YouTube.
YouTube.
So, yep. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
GG.